January 13th of 2020, my life changed forever. It also is related to why I see SafetyWing as more than just a workplace. It was a Sunday, I remember, and I decided I was going to go ski touring with some friends. What I didn't know at the time was a last-minute decision to switch where we were going to be going ended up changing my life forever. On the way down, we were skiing down at the end of the day, I fell off a cliff. I landed on my head, and I suffered a severe brain injury as a result of it. My life changed forever that day. For the next year of my life, I couldn't do anything. I could barely get out of bed. The routine tasks that you take for granted every day, I couldn't do any of those. I couldn't even think most days. I couldn't even get out of bed. The pain was so unbearable. I was working at the time. I was in school. I couldn't do either of those things anymore. My days were spent going from doctor to doctor, trying to find someone that would fix my problem, that would make me feel better. I became depressed. I didn't know what my future held for me anymore, if I would ever feel better again. But you see, I'm lucky because I was Canadian. I am Canadian, which meant that I had a safety net. It meant that even though I couldn't do so many of those little basic tasks and I couldn't get out of bed most days, I had someone behind me. All those doctor's appointments to try and feel better, those were covered. Those were paid for by the government. The work that I couldn't do because of my injury, that income was replaced by Canada. It gave me a second chance. Really, I do believe the Canadian government gave me a second shot at life. And so it's funny that I stand here in front of you today telling you about the biggest, most ambitious product that SafetyWing has ever released before, Nomad Citizen, because I credit SafetyWing with changing my life. It was the first thing I actually did after my injury that made me feel whole again. That gave me a vision for the future, that maybe I might actually be able to do something, that maybe things will be normal again one day. And so I'm not joking when I really say that SafetyWing is more than a workplace to me. But it goes beyond that. It's the vision of what SafetyWing wants to build. You see, as Sandra said, we want to build a global safety net, the first country on the internet. We want to be the support system, the infrastructure for a digital world. For so long, whether you call yourself a remote worker, a digital nomad, a freelancer, a business owner, a founder, you've had to scrape together your own safety nets. You should be able to live a life of freedom where you can pursue opportunity regardless of where that's going to go in the world. I nomaded for 5 years. I still consider myself one. And the thing that was always in my mind during that time was this question of what if? What if I lost my job? I mean, the whole lifestyle I was living was predicated on this remote job that I had. What if I fell sick and I couldn't work anymore for a period of time? Would I have to go back to my parents' basement? The life I've been building for so long was going to be over just like that? It didn't make any sense. It caused stress in me. I think it's what causes so many people to stop living this global life, is that buildup of stress. But it goes beyond that because you see, we live in a world that has more freedom, more opportunity than has ever existed in history. You can work anywhere in the world. You can start your own thing at any point in time. You can make friends with anyone anywhere in the world. And yet there's more friction to living that life than ever before. Every time you decide to move countries, you decide to go to somewhere new, you have to rebuild your safety net. You have to sell out of everything and start over again. You have to consider all these friction points before you actually jump on an opportunity. And so that's what we're trying to solve with SafetyWing. That's the vision. And when SafetyWing was founded, that was the problem that we were trying to solve. And so when I joined in 2021, by that point, we built a health insurance that worked. We built a travel insurance that worked. And now we were focused on this vision, to build a global safety net. And so our logic was, well, we'll start by one product at a time. We'll start with income protection and we'll build that. And then we'll make pension and retirement. And after that, maybe we'll build a global community and we'll stack on piece by piece each part of the safety net until eventually you have it. But it didn't work. Each of those products that we tried to build afterwards, none of them came to realization. That wasn't until we had an epiphany. We had a realization a year ago that changed everything. You see, the entire time we tried to be building things in sequence, but what if we just built the entire safety net at once? Sure, it might be harder in the short term, but in the long term, if you solve the one core problem, you unlock everything. And we had urgency to build this problem. The world had been too long without this product. It needed it. And so that's what we decided to do. And that's where we were 12 months ago. We were sitting, I remember we were remotely working, but we were co-working together all the time, trying to figure out how are we going to solve this problem. But we had a fundamental problem. You see, our vision, it was illegal. What we were trying to build is illegal. It wouldn't work in the world. Countries, they have laws in place. Safety nets, these things are local things. They don't expand. The word of global doesn't mean anything. And so all of a sudden, we're back to square one. Sure, we have a vision, but it's illegal. And so now we're trying to figure out how to solve this vision. I remember it took months and months and months of work until eventually we had something maybe we thought might work. Took 8 months from start to finish before I remember we were able to put our finger on something and say, yes, this is the answer. This is how we're actually going to make this thing possible. I remember at one point in time, we had 4 days until we had to launch Nomad Citizen. We had to move people onto the product at that point in time. And we still didn't have a product. We still didn't have a policy. We didn't have anything we could actually sell. And I think it's a testament. It speaks to how hard, ambitious, and risky the problem that we were trying to solve was. No one had ever done anything like this before. I mean, for example, income protection for freelancers, that's a foreign concept. That doesn't exist in the insurance world. So you can only imagine the look on the faces as we're going to our reinsurer, this big, old, bureaucratic German company, trying to convince them that they should all of a sudden give income protection to freelancers. That didn't work. And yet, a year later from when we started, just under 12 months, on August 8th of this year, we launched Nomad Citizen, the first ever truly global safety net, built for freelancers, for business owners, for employees, whoever you are in the world, to be able to pursue opportunity regardless of where that takes you, and to be able to transcend borders. It's a futuristic health insurance that's focused on longevity. It's income protection regardless of your walk in life. It's an innovative visa product to be able to get nomad visas around the world. And it's also a global community. At its core, Nomad Citizen, it's a vision that we have for the future. Nomad Citizen, it's a bet on freedom. It's the bedrock, it's the certainty in an uncertain life. And so regardless of what you call yourself, whether it's a traveler, a nomad, a freelancer, an employee, a founder, you deserve a life where you can pursue opportunity regardless of where that takes you in the world. No company, no NGO, no even country has ever attempted to build a global product like this before. People have been trying to live this life, though, for 20 plus years. But it's been hard. They've had the heartbeat, but not the support system until now. I credit Canada with saving my life. And I credit SafetyWing with really changing my life. But it's Nomad Citizen that I think is going to allow me to live my life. Thank you.